10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Drag racing fan Lee Craft here, the Monday Morning Racer, coming to you from somewhere in the middle of nowhere in Arizona as I continue to make my way west for the 4-Wide Nationals in Las Vegas. Just got wrapped up experiencing my first ever Spring Fling Million, and that was a spectacular show in its own right. There's a lot to talk about in the world of drag racing, as always, and we're going to be doing that right here on the Competition Plus Power Hour. Hit the like button, hit the share button, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, Competition Plus TV, and buckle up. We're going to take a quick break. Right after the break, we're going to talk drag racing along with my co-host, Slammin' Sam. Weldon Pumps certainly can pump your application as they pump up the show right here, the Competition Plus Power Hour. Sam, man, good to have you on tonight. Good to chat with you. Good to be on the show myself tonight. A lot to talk about in drag racing and big event.
Hey,
go ahead.
I gotta say this, Lee. I was just watching that commercial, and I've watched it a few times, but I'm honestly thinking Weldon Pumps is the pump of Mustang drag racing. Like, if you go back and count how many Fox bodies there are in that clip, and then how many like SN95 body styles, it's pretty impressive. So,
well, maybe that platform is just that good, and there's so much you can go buy off the shelf. Period. For that application, it's a easy application. It's a great platform to go get a lot to continue to move forward with whatever you want to do with it. I mean, because not only is it popular in drag racing, but for many, many years, it was the popular car in like mini stock racing, in circle tracks, whether dirt or asphalt. So yeah, great platform for sure. I saw a few Fox bodies at the Spring Fling, but the Spring Fling, it was obviously heavily dominated by dragsters, but there were some cool cars at that event. Matter of fact, there were several cars that I was like, you're bracket racing that? That is fascinating. Like, one guy had like a 39 Chevy that looked like a gasser / pro mod / street rod, rat rod, all rolled up into one, and he was bracket racing. It was a beautiful machine. Then like McNeil Freeman with his taxi cab Chevrolet, Capri, neat machine. I even got to take a ride in it during the burnout, Sam. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing I've noticed about the Spring Fling. It's the competition, the guys and the girls that are out there, they are definitely, they're ahead of the game, right? Like, they still have their stuff either put together or they've already worked on it enough to bring it out. And I mean, the chance to win that much money is going to bring anyone. And, we've joked around with Westbuck and different people on this show. Is it the prestige? Is it the money? Is it the traction? What is it? But let's face it. I mean, when you have the chance to win that much money and all the other additional money that can be won, it definitely does bring an aura to it.
It does. And I'm glad that you mentioned the other money, because it's not just about the bracket race for the big check. Yes, that is the biggest part. But there's races within races. Like, there's reaction time challenge. There is who's got the best package. Like, can you have the best run made, or can you even make a perfect run? And there's a bonus for that. There's a coin that you can earn, and money you can earn for going trip zip. I mean, they incentivize everything in this event, it seems like, for the racer. And so it's really racers coming together and celebrating racers. That is a cool thing to see. I think that's why that event is so popular and that it continues to grow. And the Flings It's not just spring. There's more flings throughout the year, though there's spring flings, and it seems like they have got the best in top model. I will say what Peter Biondo is doing with the group that he has, it was an extremely well ran event. And I will say the hallmark, I believe, of it being a well run event was that they were willing to be flexible. That first night, that is not the million night, but still a lot of money on the line, 30,000. They realized, wow, we're going to be here till like 2 a.m. and we're going to cause people not to be fresh for Friday and for the million race. How about we take this day and combine it with this day? We're going to throw more money on top of it. Instead of even just doubling to 60,000 for 2 days combined, we're going to make it $100,000 2-day race and make it easier on everybody, including the media, the racer, track crew, everybody. And I think that was an outstanding move to look at all of that and say, we're going to make it better all the way around for the pocketbook and time-wise.
You know, and that's one thing when we talked to him earlier this year or last year, I don't really remember if we were in 2023 or 2022, but when we spoke with him about everything, that he had going on and what he thought and his campaign, I don't want to say campaign, especially right now with everything that's going on in the world, but his drive to continue to make these, flings better and to, get people more involved and have more marketing partners and different things like that. He spoke on all that. Like, hey, yes, we're trying to put on an event, but we want it to benefit everyone. It's not just for, cater to one class or one, specific thing. It's for everyone. We want everyone to be able to feel welcomed and, it worked well for everyone. So I think that was huge. But Lee, you got the opportunity to go. You obviously, talking about it, but you got the opportunity to be down there to do some work for you, like working with that, and then working with other, groups and seeing what they do. Um, Other than being organized and being well ran, what are some of the things that you picked up and were like, man, I think that this group could use that, or maybe they should implement this or that somewhere else.
Certainly, going back to the flexibility, I think that can be used elsewhere. And, I would say like Chris Graves, for example, is very good about flexibility for the racers. And, a tough call had to be made today, in fact, concerning the postponement of the Cajun Nationals, and not just a week, but it's postponed to the entire end of the schedule for the Cajun Nationals in Funny Car Chaos World. And it is now going to be the championship finals, which I think is a great move for Racer, for Competitor, and for State Capitol Raceway. But those decisions have to be made. Flexibility is important on behalf of the racer. And I will also say that, to me, like, the whole reason I was there is there was a desire that the stream, which Bang Shift airs, and it's produced by Drag Racer TV, Warren Evans, who I work with Funny Car Chaos, that the stream they wanted to make it better, more camera angles, better sights on the cars, therefore the racer. So that's why I was there. And it is important that there is that desire to not just show a race, but to showcase a race and the racer and make it feel professional. Because at that level, I would say you're dealing with people who are professional bracket racers, the people who do these big money bracket races. Many of them, they are making a living out of drag racing in that format. And I think they should be made to look professional. Therefore, they should be expectant of being showcased as a professional. That's my thoughts.
No, and I mean, we always want more, right? More angles, more this, more that. So give people what they want, and and try and test it out. And I think, like you said, you have the inside look at it. So that, I mean, that's personally what you took away from it. Um, Going down to the comments here, you got people like Andrew saying NHRA needs to hire people like Yondo to promote the sportsmen and get the money in NHRA sportsman classes. I 100% agree. I think there's a lot more out there for the sportsman classes, but I mean, we could talk about that till we turn blue in the face, right? There's a lot more out there for pro stock. There's more out there for all the classes, I think. I mean, we and I'm going to say this because I think I have a relationship with this person well enough to say it, but we always say that NHRA rides the coat, we ride in the coattail of Nitro, right? It's just like the cliche saying of Courtney Ender saying, "Well, I made it to where I am because she's riding the coattail of her sister." But at some point, you do have to break away, and perfect example is what she's doing, and that's how I'm going to relate those two. She's breaking off and going and doing her own thing, and I think NHRA needs to say, yes, we understand that Nitro is our premier class. Nitro is the loud, the horsepower, the thrill of Manila, what's in your chest. But at the end of the day, there's more than just Nitro. And I mean, you know and this is like not throwing shade either, but you have something like Nitro Chaos where hey, we're coming to see different categories and different this, and it's not about just the nitro, it's the complete chaos of you don't know what's coming next, right? So when you look at all that, you're like, okay, you've got a class over here of you don't know what's coming next. You got a class here that's dependent on this. You've got a class here that's dependent on that. How do we break away? And I don't think we can just say sportsman.
I kind of agree with what DRC is saying. They almost are two different things. There's different pressures involved, and obviously at a national event, I do think that there are marketing issues concerning the sportsman classes. For example, I think Top Alcohol Dragster right now should be getting a lot more love, and not just because of Tony Stewart, but because of the competitive nature of that class. I mean, go back to the Baby Gators, go back to the Gator Nationals, go to Pomona. Look how many cars are attempting to qualify, and look at the storylines that are there. Like, I mean, there was a big round 2 matchup at Pomona, and yet I don't think nobody played it up. I haven't heard an article. I haven't seen anybody mention it in anything. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like this was a big matchup that could have ramifications down the line for the national championship in that class, and there wasn't much said at all.
I agree. Hold on, let me read this. If you're running a big money bracket race, your premier class. That right there. That's true. That comment is very that is true. Yeah.
Right. If you're at a big money bracket race, you are the stars. And now granted, what are you stars of? And what I mean by that is I will say that the Flings, there was really no spectators, okay? Which is fine. It's a racer's deal. It's the racers coming together, and it's them being stars amongst themselves, if you will. I'm not saying that it will never have spectators involved. It very well could. And I think a part of stepping up the stream is a move towards that and marketability and showcasing that these guys are stars. It is phenomenal what these bracket racers are capable of doing, 001 or perfect lights and running dead on a number. I mean, someone almost had a perfect run. At least one person was just 1,000th off, if I remember correctly, from a perfect run.
But
Wow.
see, this is the thing. So DRC, you've made some good points there, but then you said this, and then my only thing is, how can you say you have to be in a professional environment? Because some people, so you say big money bracket racers, that's their environment. I know guys from North Dakota, South Dakota that travel around the world to do big money bracket racing. That's what these guys do. Like, that's what they do. If there's a shootout somewhere for $10,000, they're going. 12,000, whatever it is, they're going. They were down at the spring fling. Like, and to them, that's their professional category. Now, sportsman racers, that's their category, and you can't say they're not professional. It's no different than what I've been harping at for the last year about ProMod. That is their professional category. Now, there's professional grudge racers, as we see on TV week in and week out on channel 16 or 19, Discovery for, depending on where you live, 24 for some people.
By the way, you mentioning that, I think Kyle Kelly and the Buick. Oh.
Yeah. Like, I mean, you wouldn't know who Chief was if he wasn't a professional grudge racer. You know what I mean? He had, and NHRA said, hey, if you're going to continue to do this, we're going to pull your NHRA license. And he said, okay, do it. Kai Kelly. For example, you want to talk about somebody that was a professional drag racer, Lizzie Musey. Like, Lizzie, professional drag, could have done anything in the world, but her dad just happened to be this guy who builds some badass engines. Became a professional drag racer and said, you know what? I'm making more money elsewhere, and we're not going to get into that topic, but I'm making more money elsewhere, and I can go and grudge race and make more money than what I'm making right now being a professional drag racer. So it all depends on what category you are. Like, it just sucks, but it doesn't suck because we look at just NHRA. We're not looking at PDRA because there's a lot of badass racers that are in PDRA that if they want to convert, they can convert and go NHRA racing. They have the money to do it. I mean, we've seen it. They have the money to do it. So we can't just say, well, go into a professional category because here's the umbrella of professional categories.
Right. And, for example, when you go to an NHRA national event and if you win an NHRA national event, if you win in Super Gas, you are the winner of that event. If you win in Super Comp, you are the winner of that event. And you do stand as a winner in equal status to whoever did win Top Fuel, though they may very well be the kings of sport.
I don't want to get into a heated debate about what DRC is saying, but college basketball players and NBA basketball players both do the same things. They go out, they act stupid, they get a lot of money, a lot more money, and go and do more stupid stuff, or end up in a car with somebody that does something stupid, but we won't go down that road. And then last one, No Prep Kings is totally different genre. No Prep Kings can mention in the future. All right. What else do you want to talk about?
Well, there is Las Vegas is having a lot of big races here. They have been hopping, man.
This is it's the time of the year for Vegas though. Like there's that Florida season, and then I'm not a hater of basketball, okay, Darren? And if you'd like to come on, Darren, sure, pop your face in. But I'm not a hater of basketball. I just don't like LeBron James. And he's ruining my LA Lakers.
LeBron. Wow.
So call me Stephen A. Smith. That's fine. But I'm just saying I have my opinion.
He's brought shame on his family. Shame on his family.
In my eyes, that guy is not professional.
So, yes, it is a great time for Las Vegas. Great time for this like mini Western swing. Weather in Pomona was good. Weather in Las Vegas. I will say, first night in Vegas, it was actually cold. Like I was wearing gloves on the line and
Lee,
doubled up. It was cold, but
Lee,
then it progressively
cold.
got better, and it was nice at Las Vegas. So yeah, it's a good time to go racing. I haven't looked at the forecast for this particular weekend, but I do know that like when we left, they were going to have a few 80 and 90-degree days. So it might be hot, it might be comfortable, but it's certainly good weather out there in Las Vegas.
I'll tell you what the weather's going to be because these iPhones, you can save your favorite places where you frequent, a lot, and Vegas just happens to be one of those for me. So let's see. Ooh, okay. So Thursday for when the teams are rolling in, it's going to be a nice 75-degree day.
Nice.
And then Thursday night, it's going to drop down to a mild 57. That's still t-shirts and flip-flops weather.
Right.
Friday, it's going to be a high of a 72. Again, a nice day.
Nice.
Lows of 49. Still jump in the pool. Saturday, a whopping 80 degrees with F680s with F16s flying over.
Oh, yeah.
A C-17,
Vegas.
some tankers.
Drag race and an air show all day long. Thank you.
And then it's going to drop down to another 49 degrees. And then on the finals, baby, rolling in the finals, a nice 84 degrees. So the tuners and the crew chiefs are going to have to be on their game.
I like that. I like that. There'll be some transition. It's going to be getting a little warmer over the weekend. I like that. I love weekends like that.
But see, Lee, the only thing that you have to worry about when it gets that hot in Vegas is further down track because there's so much track prep up until the end of the stands. And then after that, you've got that short little transition right at the end of the track, kind of like Pomona, but a little further out.
So going into this weekend in the professional categories, I do wonder who do you have your eye on? Who's some movers or shakers? Who's going to be the losers this weekend?
This weekend, where do you want me to start? Because I already know one class that I'm like hardcore on.
Let's start with Pro Stock, and I'm gonna go ahead and throw this out there. They did some testing apparently in Tulsa, but she is coming back to a place that treats her well, and she needs to be treated well right now. That's Erica Enders. Might be a turnaround race right now.
Okay, gambling is making its way to NHRA. So gambling is on its way.
Winlight Bets will be there. Winlight Bets was at the Spring Fling. Great program. I've got the app downloaded. They actually showed it to me personally and what they're doing. And there's no money involved yet. It's just points. They're building it though. And it's neat system, dude. It is really neat. I didn't have time to bet because I couldn't hold my phone and bet and hold the camera and run around and do that at the same time. I mean, I'm talented, but I'm not that talented. But it looks like a great system. I'm very well might be playing around with it at the national event and see how it works out. They did say they got to figure out how they're going to, how do we work with 4 lanes instead of 2? But it's a good looking app. It's a good working app. And it's a good system. I like what they got going on.
Yes. So I did like that because that is something that from a inside source, not of NHRA, but of Las Vegas, there's more to come from even Vegas. So be tuned, be glued to that. Let's see. Pro Stock, I think you're going to see a turnaround here. This man has been very, I don't want to say not lucky, but Greg Anderson, I don't think he's come on as strong as he's wanted to yet this year. But I can't bet against red. I'm wearing red underneath here. I can't. There's something about Erica Enders. There's something about Elite Motorsports, Richard Freeman, and what they've got going on at that camp. And just the book. It just reminds me of, the Water Boy. When all the other crew chiefs are scrambling through this thing, hey, we know what she's going to do. They just find a way to pull something else off. So Erica Enders is getting a win this weekend. And I will cash that right now. That's a hard cash. I'm putting my money there. So, I mean, if we need to get the fan page up or, get back on our phones and start cash and bets, we can do that.
I believe the last time we were at Vegas and the
You and I.
pro soccer's there, that a Quadra Boy had a very good day.
He did.
A career day.
A career
I wonder
day.
if we see some mojo, true mojo out of the Quadra Boys this weekend.
Don't want to say not yet. I think they're still trying to dial in a few things. They're working on it, and they're working really hard at it. Not yet.
All right.
I think you're gonna. All right,
ahead.
next class.
Yep. Next class.
I don't think it'll be this weekend, but I think going into North Carolina and going to places like that, that's when you're going to start seeing that to shine, because you won't have that heat. It's really hard for them to find all of that. So I think North Carolina will be a good starting point for them.
I agree.
Not counting them out, but I'm just saying I'm not betting against Red.
Let's get through this quickly because we got Megan Meyer in the green room. She's our first guest of the night. Actually, yes, folks, she'll be the only guest of the night. Matt Hagan is a bit under the weather, so we're going to just have Megan on tonight. But she's already made a big announcement. Looking forward to talking about Nitro Chaos. Nitro, speaking of that, funny car in NHRA. I think John Force needs a redemption race. You know how you have like a bad meal and you need to go get like a redemption meal? He needs a redemption race.
Ain't happening.
I'm not saying it's going to happen, but he needs it.
No, it's not going to happen.
Okay.
He's gonna be an East Coast guy. He likes his East Coast fans. He's gonna be an East Coast guy.
Okay. Can J.R. Todd and the Coletta guys come out swinging after they need it?
That's J.R. Todd has been backed against the wall. Like, this man is a pit bull that's been locked in the cage, and I was gonna say a joke, but I'm not gonna say the joke. Gosh, I don't know what my deal is today, but that's bad that I even thought that. Forgive me, but yes, it's not going to be Cruiser Pomona guy, but it is going to be J.R. Todd or Alexis DeJoria.
Okay, I like those. Very quickly, Top Fuel. Well, I do know my man Buddy Hole. He needs definitely to have a good weekend. They had a rough Phoenix, so he needs to definitely have a good weekend. I think
he's going to. Buddy Hall's going 2 rounds on Sunday. I'm calling it.
Oh, okay. I like it.
That's not bad. I'm saying, Buddy, you're going 2 rounds on Sunday.
Okay. I like that. He'll be glad to hear that. Now,
who's going to take Justin off of the throne? That's the question.
Steve Torrence.
That is the true question.
Steve Torrence has shown in the past that he can step up and he can even cut a light better than Justin on occasion. I think Steve Torrence steps up.
No, I'm going the next door neighbor. They're keeping that in the house. AB's getting the win.
I like that. Okay, cool.
What else do you got? Is that it?
That's it. We're going. You want to say anything else?
No.
Okay.
I guess not.
We're going to take a
final
break.
Final round, Top Fuel right here. Steve Torrence, Antron Brown, Leah Pruitt, Justin Ashley.
That'd be a strong final round. I like that.
And as Antron Brown would say, the first round's a final round, the second round's a final, the semi's a final, and the final was a final.
Right. It's all finals out there for sure. Well, let's take a break. And after the break, Sam, we're going to talk some Nitro Chaos with a lady that definitely knows her Nitro and has got it done in the Nitro ranks of the top alcohol dragster ranks a lot of times. This word from Competition Products. Then, Megan Meyer.
Competition Products, your source for hardcore engine parts for street, strip, and oval track. Our free catalog is packed with hundreds of product lines from the best-known manufacturers in the performance industry. Lowest prices guaranteed. Free shipping and handling on all orders over $149 in the continental U.S.
Need expert advice? Our knowledgeable staff is just a phone call away.
Competition Products, race parts sold by racers since 1970.
Megan Meyer, semi-retired because she's in full competition this year with 4 races, which is a great new. news bit for the world of drag racing. Welcome to the Competition Plus Power Hour. Good to have you on.
Thank you, guys. I'm glad to be back with you.
All right. Before we go any further, your picks for Vegas right now.
Ooh, okay. For Top Fuel.
Go ahead.
Okay. All right. I mean, Steve-O's my guy, so I've always got Steve. I do like Justin Ashley in the finals. I think Brittany is going to make an appearance. And then one more. Let's see. I don't know. You went with Leah. Maybe I'll go with Leah. Get another girl in there. I like that.
The girl power strong tonight.
That's right.
All right. There's Top Fuel. All right. Funny car.
Funny car. All right. Matt, Robert. Let's see.
That's tough.
That's tough. Okay, I liked what you said about JR, so I'll throw him in there too. And then let's see. What's one more? Let's see. I'll think John Force. He's been doing all right so far this year.
John Force and JR in a final on a 4-wide would be.
I hope they're on the complete opposites.
Complete opposite ends.
Completely.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Away from me. Like, I don't care if they pick the center lanes. I think somebody needs to go down there and be like, no, you two got to split up. Like, this is back to elementary school. You go over here and you go over here. Like,
right. Yeah, because it's funny in racing how, if you have an incident with someone, it's like you just keep having run-ins with the same person. Like watch a NASCAR race, if someone causes a caution, they're pitting next to each other, there. Yeah, seems like it's constant. Yeah. Okay, Pro Stock.
Oh, Pro Stock. Okay, definitely Erica. I think she's definitely going to be stepping it up, and I know she can do really well out there. I also think Camry, Dallas, and then what'd you say?
I didn't say anything.
I'd also say let's do like Matt Hartford. Let's throw him
Matt.
in.
Okay. Yep. I like those. Those are good.
See, now that's brutal. Camry, Dallas, Matt Hartford, and Erica. Like, I'm sorry. I would have knots in my stomach.
Man. Hey,
I know that's the class to watch this year so far.
Speaking of Dallas, so he does his burnout. He backs up spring fling. He's in a dragster, and I'm panning with the camera, walking up, going over the dragster. Let me tell you something. I don't even know he knew I was at the track. That man was focused. Like, you can't see his eyes when he's in the Pro Stock car. I mean, they were locked in. He can go in a different zone and truly be 00. It was impressive to see how locked in he was. There was nothing rattling that man. I could have wagged the camera in his face and it wouldn't have done anything. So yeah, he can be locked in.
Lee, before you rudely interrupted Megan, she said something, and I want her to repeat this so I don't have to say it for the rest of the year. So right now we're going to zoom in on the Megan Myers, and you said what about that Pro Stock class? So world, be quiet and just listen.
I said that is the class to watch this year so far.
Okay.
I don't have to say it anymore this year. I'm done defending myself.
Sam.
Megan Myers just said it. I'm done. No,
Sam.
Look, we're gonna do this.
We're
moving her up there. I'm going down here. We're done. We're done here. I'm done.
You got what you want for sure. Sam.
Yep.
The real question is not Top Fuel Funny Car Pro Stock at Las Vegas. It is, Megan, who wins at Edgewater?
Ooh. I know. Well, hopefully it's going to be us. So I know we've got a lot of tough competition in Nitro Chaos with, Kevin and Joey Haas, all those guys. So I was down at Dallas for the first Funny Car Chaos race with Julie, and fortunately, Chris and the guys let me bring my dragster down and test. So I got to do some exhibition runs against a diesel dragster, which how cool is that? And but those guys were running like high 40s there in like second round in the finals. So I know we've got to step it up, because last year at MoCan when I raced, I think it was a 56 in the final, and I think Kevin ran like a 55. So we've got to step it up. But that's why we went there to test. We made about 10 test runs in the car, and my best run was a 57. So we know we just got a little bit more left in there, and hopefully we'll be able to pull it out at Edgewater. It will be my first time racing there, being in Cincinnati. And what's cool is, I don't know if you've looked at the schedule, but that race is the 28th and 29th, which is the same weekend as the Charlotte Four Wides. So, Charlotte is my team's favorite track. It's my favorite track. I wish I could be there, but instead I'll be at Edgewater racing Nitro CHOAS. And so that means my dad is going to be out in Charlotte running our cars there with Julie and Hunter driving. So I'm flying solo this weekend, or that weekend. So I'm going to be bringing in my little sister Rachel to be my crew chief since my dad can't be there.
Yeah, we had, Rachel on a Chaos Live maybe about a month and a half ago, and that was an interesting discussion that she's going to take up some tuning responsibilities. That's very cool to hear from her, and it won't be just that event. I believe there's another event, but she's also going to be back behind the wheel with 2 of the events. And I was like, yeah, so you still going to tune Sis's ride and make sure, but no, that's cool that she's going to be able to get that shot. And wow, yeah, Edgewater is shaping up to be one of the best, if not the best, Nitro Chaos that we have had thus far. There are some heavy hitters in the Nitro world coming out, and it is going to be fascinating to see how all these different type of combinations come together and perform, because like you saw it at Mocan, you've got Kevin Kinsley in an altered, and you're an A-Field dragster, and it made sense. It shouldn't make sense, but it made sense, and it was competitive, and it looked cool. So Nitro Chaos as a brand, you've experienced it, you've raced in it, and now you're going to do a full pull in it with a 4-race championship series. So what about Nitro Chaos intrigued you enough that you're like, as a competitor, this is where I want to compete?
Yeah. Oh man, I just loved it. That Mocan race I did last year. So I did not go to their other race that was at Eddyville, simply just because it wasn't on my radar. And really, it hadn't been on our radar until we got the funny car. And my dad decided he wanted to start racing in the funny car Chaos. And he has no desire of running that funny car in NHRA. It's just for funny car Chaos and kind of, those other little series that are starting to pop up here in the Midwest. And so then what happened was they had reached out to my dad and asked if he would want to come and race Nitro Chaos with the dragsters. And so my dad asked me, and he was like, hey, would you want to drive? And I was like, like I never really thought about it, but I was like, sure. Like it's at our home track. One of the tracks that Rachel and I grew up racing junior dragsters at. And then what's cool is Mocan is literally 20 minutes away from the college campus that Rachel and I went to, which was part of the reason why we chose to go to Pittsburgh State down there. And so it's close to home for us. We grew up racing junior dragsters there. And then while we were going to college, we would race Super Comp there on the weekend at their bracket races. And it was just Rachel and I. Ever since I turned 16 years old and got a driver's license, my dad handed me the keys to the Julie, and he was like, here you go, because he's like, I'm off going to run NHRA Top Alcohol Dragster. So I've been on my own bracket racing ever since I could drive the car, the Julie. And so Mocan is a very special place for us. And so I was like, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity for me to get the chance to run my Nitro dragster at a track like Mocan. Would never in my life did I ever think I would run a big car at that track. But Carl and this team down that Mocan did a fantastic job of doing some safety upgrades and really making that track really great surface to race on. We were running 50s all night long down there. And we just loved it. I had never been to a Chaos race before, so I didn't quite know what I was getting into. But as soon as I went through the gates at Mocan, I just fell in love. The way how Chris and Tara and his team run the series and race day, it's perfect. It's very laid back. They have a schedule of what times we're going to run, but it's not very strict like it is at NHRA. And everyone's just a lot more friendly and happier. You know, my dad he said last year so many times that that was the most fun he's ever had at a race in such a long time. And so it's just a lot less stressful when, you know, you're just out there to have fun. That's the main goal. Whereas NHRA, it was all about the politics and the drama and, you know, trying to chase the championship, get points and all that type of stuff. So it's a nice, refreshing way to drag race, which is why I wanted to return for this year.
Cool.
I got kicked off the internet again because I made a statement.
It happens.
It happened.
Yeah.
See what happens when
Talk about.
Now we just completely okay.
I don't know. So you just talked about how relaxing and how fun drag racing is, and how your dad is, you know, let you guys kind of take the keys and go off and do it. And now he's like, man, I'm being back at the track and I'm having fun. For you, you know, and your sister, and how you guys have been with your dad, how does that feel to see him kind of revived and having so much fun with, you know, being out there with you guys and the Nitro Chaos stuff that's going on?
Yeah, that's really, you know, the whole point of it is to kind of get back to how it was growing up when it was the four of us. So me, my sister, and my parents going to our local track in Kansas City, Friday night test and tune for a bracket race Saturday and bracket race on Sunday. You know, back in those days, my dad, he was racing NHRA top alcohol dragster, but it was only like 15 races a year and it was just him. We hadn't had the second car yet with multiple rental drivers coming in. Whereas now it's a full-on business and that's exactly how we treat it. And when it became like that, it became a lot less fun for him and for all of us. You know, I handle all of the back end of running that business. I do all the accounting stuff, all the sponsor communications, ordering parts, selling parts, all that type of stuff I handle. And so it's 100% just a business now, the NHRA side of it. So that's the main reason of why he wanted to get the funny car, was because he just wanted something fun to do. He wanted a new challenge. And for me, I don't really have any desire of driving the funny car. I think it's cool, but my sister totally wants to jump in as soon as she gets the chance. And so, you know, she's the gearhead in the family. I'm the one that does all the marketing and all this stuff for us. So it's just, it's really special to kind of see him relax a little bit at the track. You know, he's getting older and I want him to live as long as he can, especially now he's got a bunch of grandkids and some grandbabies that are boys. You know, he just grew up with, or he raised my sister and I. He didn't really have any boys. So now he's finally got a pair of boys. And, you know, of course we want him to be around and be in their life as long as possible. So we don't want him to stress out too much about racing and the business. And so whenever we did that race at MoCan, and we had the whole family there. We had Henry, my husband, and Rachel, her husband, and her stepkids were all there. It was just fun and relaxing. And we felt like a weight was lifted off of our shoulders being there. And so, so this year he's just like, hey, you know, if you want to do it, you can, no pressure. You don't have to. But he's like, I have these other commitments. I have to follow through with these. And I told him, I was like, if I return to drag racing, I don't want to do the NHRA side of it. I only want to stick with the Nitro Chaos, or just doing something that is going to be close to home so I don't have to travel too much and be away from my family. Also, you know, super busy with work right now. Everything with my business is booming right now. So I don't have a whole lot of time dedicated to spend traveling and going to races. So the fact that Nitro Chaos is just 4 races this year is perfect for me. And it's nice spread out, and the races are all close to home. Cincinnati is going to be the farthest, and that's about 10 hours, I think, for us. So not too bad of a drive, but it is going to be me, my sister, my mom, my husband, our baby Henry, and then my uncle Rich, who comes to a lot of our races, and then we have 2 other crew guys that are going to be coming with us. So really focusing on family and just having fun this year.
Sounds great. Yeah, I've asked your dad after every chaos race. I usually see him at the next national event. I'm like, "Hey, Randy, did you have fun at a drag race?" He's like, "Yeah, man, I did." So it's always that's good to hear that. I call him Old Man Randy when I'm not around him. Don't tell him I said that, okay? But I like your dad's pretty cool. Your dad's pretty cool. Now, you mentioned marketing, and you obviously are savvy and big in that, and you're helping a ton of people with their marketing efforts. And yeah, 4-race series, brand new, not very well known, but this thing's got some color on it. It looks sharp. It's good. Gunk and a few other, partners on the car. Talk to us about marketing, pitching, Gunk getting on board for something that, isn't NHRA, and it's on a streaming platform, and it's something completely different.
Exactly. So it just goes to show you that it's all about your connections. It's not about the series you're racing in and what type of TV exposure they have. A lot of people think they need to go race in a big series because they have national TV. And the fact of the matter is you don't. I mean, how many people actually watch the recordings? Because you see the results on social media, and so you already know what's going to happen. So for me, I don't ever watch the NHRA replays. The fact that Sportsman replays are aired like almost a week after the race has finished, it's really not fair to all those Sportsman guys. And also they air it at like 3 o'clock in the morning when nobody's going to watch it. So,
whoa, hey, when I'm sitting in hotels or wherever, or if I'm on days off, I'm watching. So
yeah, like I'll tune into the NHRA TV, but that's about it. And it's just to see like how our team's doing and a few of my favorite guys. That's it. And so really it's not all about TV exposure. It's more about your connections, how you can actually market yourself and use platforms like social media that are totally free to use and get a lot of power out of it. So, I could talk about marketing for hours, but I do want to just let you guys know, for those racers that are watching, and if you are going through the struggle of finding sponsors, and if you're approaching ones and they keep telling you no, don't give up, because literally, guys, it took me about 10 years to get this sponsorship with Gunk. And so thankfully they have been a product sponsor with us for about 2 decades. They joined our team when we were racing junior dragsters. So they've been with us for a very long time. And I would meet with them, and we became really good friends with people that were in the marketing department. They even invite us over to their house for family dinners. They're located in Charlotte, so just another one of the reasons why we loved being out in the Charlotte track. And but at that time, their marketing department was really controlled by an agency, and so it was outside of their business. And whenever they made that switch to turn it internally, it was really when things were able to click for us, and we had a lot more leeway with that. So it's all about perseverance, building those relationships, maintaining those relationships, even if they say no year after year after year. Don't give up, because I am proof that it is possible. And also on the car, there is Lucas Oil, another longtime partner of us. Again, Lucas Oil joined our team when we were racing junior dragsters. I remember we were one of the first to try out their new junior dragster oil and try out the Slick Mist when it first came out, and have been a fan of it ever since then. I actually did a post last week about using the interior Slick Mist cleaner on my mom car, and it got a lot of hits online because I posted the outtakes and bloopers of when my tripod would fall over and all that type of stuff, and people just ate it up. So And then I do want to also mention, we did just put out a press release this morning saying that Shop Squad is joining the team this year. So Shop Squad was on the team for the first time last year, and now they have renewed and up to be an associate sponsor of mine for all 4 races this year, which I'm very excited about. And we are using Shop Squad to promote a monthly student contest that we have brought on other marketing partners with. So like Gunk and Boxo Tools is one of those sponsors. And so what that is we are reaching out to automotive students that are in college, that are studying to be mechanics, technicians, shop owners, and giving them a place where they can further their education after they graduate. So Shop Squad has made an online training portal, and it's totally free for automotive students and really for any automotive professional that wants to continue their education and continue their training. And with our monthly contest, it's a really easy form that students fill out. We just need like your name, your contact information, and then why you want to be nominated. I will go through all of the entries each month, and then I'm going to pick one winner, and they are going to win the prize pack that's over $500 of tools and equipment that they will need, while they're in the classroom and after they graduate. And so that's one of the things we've been working on behind the scenes. We debuted it April 1st. And, I just always coming up with ideas of how I can help out my partners, because it's not just all about putting a logo on the side of the car or on my fire suit and then calling it a day and hoping that the exposure I'll get from social media or from TV or the live stream is going to do the work for me. And that's really not how it works anymore these days. It's all about how can you go above and beyond and come up with ideas and programs and activations that's going to get either the product in hands of a customer or something like an online contest where it's going to teach people about what the sponsor offers.
Boom. Lee, she doesn't know it yet, but she's going to help a media guy make it big. She doesn't know it yet. So that's going to happen. But we've got to really, since we're talking about this sponsorship stuff, Megan, do you know that one of your sponsors, and I'm going to let you guess, but I think you should know, one of your marketing partners that you had that has like tremendously blown up in the world is from 15 minutes away from where I live?
Okay, well, I don't know which one you're talking about.
Come on, wow. It's like the best pretzel in the world.
Oh, okay. Yes. So they're also made about 15 minutes from where I'm at now too.
But Miss Dot is one of my she is a person that I know's aunt. So like before she was famous, like 13 years ago, I got to eat those pretzels like before they were like.
Yeah, now they're huge. I know. Yes, that is one of the ones that blew up. And unfortunately, we lost that deal because of COVID. And so our deal with Dots is we would go to the Menards stores where they were sold and give out samples. And we'd have the car on display, take pictures, all that type of stuff. And we couldn't do that anymore because COVID hit. And so unfortunately, we had to stop doing our displays. But we are in the works. I don't want to say anything yet, but I will just say I have been in communication with Dots, trying to bring them back to drag racing because I know everybody loves them. And have you had the cinnamon sugar ones? Because those
I was just about to say, if you don't wrap your car in the cinnamon sugar, like
yes, we need.
Lee, you haven't had those yet?
They are not in my area. No.
Lee, don't worry.
It's the purple bag. Look for the purple.
I got you.
I haven't seen the purple bag, but I'm looking for the purple bag now.
Well,
I love the yellow bag.
I know it was a limited
edition. The yellow bag.
It might still be out, but if you see it, grab it.
See, they're limited edition where you guys live. When you live in North Dakota, I can literally like drive down to the original small garage. Like it started in a garage and then it grew. Then she bought a little bit more, and it's unbelievable. Like West Buck had never had Dots. So I brought like 30 bags one year to him. I'm like, here you go. And so I would send I'd send care packages of Dots pretzels to him, and they fell in love with them. And then, of course, now they're worldwide. But yeah, that purple bag, man, just think like, what is a pretzel place in the mall?
Oh, the Ansi Hands or
Yes.
something like that. Yeah.
Just think, the cinnamon bites, Lee. Just think that in pretzels.
Okay. Hey, I'm a fan.
Form of that.
Hey.
So
yeah, they're so good. But yeah, we've been, I'm just always on the sponsorship hunt, and so I've been, just trying to rekindle that flame and kind of see if we can bring them back on board with us. So we'll see how it goes. But you never know. I mean, like I said, it took me 10 years to get Gunk, and so who knows? It might be 10 more years to bring Dots back. But I'm going to keep trying, so I'm not going to give up.
Cool. Well, Megan, we don't got much more time with you slotted. I very simply just want to ask, well, unashamedly as the pit reporter for Nitro Chaos, what do you have to say to your competitors out there for 4 races running a championship?
Well, I don't know all these people. That's what I love about this is a new atmosphere for me. And I'm like one of the young kids coming up, even though I'm going to be turning 30 this year. So, I just want to say to those guys that I'm going to be racing against, I'm not going to go easy on you. So I have been practicing. I've got my workout area set up here behind me. We actually just moved into this house, so I don't have my office area set up yet. I've been working out, practicing my reaction times with my Blaze Pod trainers. And so I'm going to be bringing my best to every single Nitro Chaos. And I know my crew guys, my crew chief, my little sister is also going to be doing her best. So I just want for some fun, safe, competitive drag racing. And at the end of the day, I hope it is us in the winner's circle with the Gunk Shop Squad, Lucas Oil, Nitro Dragster.
I like it.
So to put that in grudge racing words, I'm not taking it lightly on you guys. I'm coming for your throats. I've been moving, but that doesn't matter. I got my gym set up, and y'all ain't got a chance. So just get over it. Like or in the words of Deion Sanders, we coming. Like we coming. And her bags are Louis. So that's what she said. But no, Megan, for you, I guess my final question is, like, and you've kind of already answered this, but you said you've been on the grind of getting them for 10 years. What has been, I guess, throughout this whole journey of starting at a young age to where you are now, what has been that moment for you where you're like, like no matter what, this is why I do it, like the passion? What has been like that defining moment for you that's like, what, I could go and hang it up. I've had a good career. My dad's, had fun. He's taught us. He's got the business. I could just do the business side. But what is it that keeps you like, hey, maybe I do want to kind of get behind the wheel of a car again?
Yeah, well, I think you guys are kind of seeing that happen in real time right now. So I would say the first time it really clicked for me was when I was in college. And I went to school with the idea that I want to study something, be in a field that I can take into racing or something that I can do while I'm on the road. And so that's why I chose graphic design. I knew absolutely nothing about graphic design. I didn't know how to open Photoshop and edit a picture or anything like that. And but then after a few years and I started getting good at it and getting all these skills, that's when teams started approaching me and saying, hey, can you design my hero cards? Can you help me with t-shirts? Can you do a website? Can you do social media? And that's when it like really clicked for me. And I was like, oh, like I can help other teams do this too. Like I don't have to just focus on myself and our team. Like we can help others. And then 2020, when COVID hit, and we couldn't race. And that's really when I sat down and I was like, what do I want to do? I decided at the end of 2019, before COVID ever happened, that 2020 was going to be my last year racing. We had just got engaged, and I was planning a wedding for April, which didn't happen. And I knew that I wanted to settle down, be home with my fiance at that time. And because I was just so burnt out on traveling. I'd be home for 2 weeks, gone for 2-3 weeks, home, gone. It was about 6 months total every year. I was gone, away from my family, missing birthdays, funerals, weddings, graduations, all that type of stuff. And I've been living that lifestyle up until that point, because every time my dad was gone, we either had to go with him to the races, or they'd have to drop us off at someone else to watch us. And I was kind of sick of all that, sick of all the traveling and everything, that all the sacrifices you have to make. So I really sat down and was like, what do I want to do? What is my purpose with racing? And yes, it's fun to, compete and win races and be on TV, build up this brand, kind of get famous from it. But there's more to it than that. And so that's when I created my social media course called Driven by Social. And it's had a lot of success since then. And I've been able to expand on that, provide other services for other teams. And it's been such a really good feeling, knowing that I've been helping other teams. And it's not just in drag racing, it's in dirt track, it's circle track, it's in Europe, it's in Australia, it's all this type of stuff. I'm now starting to work with tracks. And so it's really cool that I've been able to kind of grow this little business. I have a couple people that work for me now, and really have been making a big impact on the industry and our drag racing world. So that's, whenever I did retire, now you guys are seeing me come back, and I'm not coming back to NHRA. I have no desire of ever going back there. That's why I want to stick with something like Nitro CHOAS. And, and I even told my dad, I was like, if I don't get a sponsor to race for this year, I was like, I don't have to do it. I love racing, but it's not everything, because I love what I'm doing, helping out other teams, doing their social media and their marketing and branding and all that type of stuff. And that keeps me busy, and it's bringing in money. So it's like, I don't have to race, but I want to race because I love the competitiveness. I love the thrill. I love the adrenaline when you're getting strapped into the car, you got your helmet on, you're getting into that zone, you make a killer pass, and the crew guys meet you at the top end, and you're cheering, and it's like you're on top of the world. You rush back to the pits, tear the car apart, put it back together just to try and do it over and over and over again. I love that part. I don't miss everything else that goes with it, all the traveling, the setting up the pit and tearing it down, and then going to the track 3 days later, doing it all over again. That part I don't miss. But the winning and the sensations and the camaraderie at the track, and just being able to share that moment with your crew guys is so special. Those parts I miss. And so that's why I wanted to come back racing. But like I said, I wasn't going to do it if I didn't get a sponsor, because if I'm going to race, I'm going to do it 110%. I'm going to do every single race. I'm going to fight for that championship, and I'm going to get a sponsor, and I'm going to represent them the best that I can. And so thankfully, it all came to fruition, and now you guys get to kind of follow on my journey and see how that's happening in real time. And so one thing I do want to add really quickly is I am going to be documenting every single pass that I make this year, starting with our testing that we did down at Dallas at the Funny Car Chaos race. I have a videographer that I have hired to follow me around to every single race we're going to this year for Nitro Chaos. And we are going to be doing a vlog series on my new YouTube channel that I just created. And our series is going to be called Chasing Chaos. And the first episode drops next week, which shows you what happened in testing. And I will admit, I made a huge driving error on my first pass, and you guys will get to see all of that in that episode.
Very cool. The channel's name.
Yes. Yep. Chasing Chaos. So
Chasing Chaos. All
yeah,
right.
that
Very
was
good.
perfect for the Nitro Chaos series.
For sure. Well, we look forward to following along. My last question for you with Nitro Chaos, it is unique in that if it runs on Nitro 80% and up, you can put it in the beams as long as it's got 4 wheels. What, in any final round, would be the perfect matchup in the other lane that Megan Meyer would want?
Ooh. I've got 2. First would be Rachel, because I love kicking her butt. Second would be Kevin Kinsley, because I raced him at MoCan last year, and I won because he red lit, but he ran a 55, and I think they ran a 56. So I want to kind of have a rematch of that and show him that I can kick his butt also without him getting a little scared on the tree.
Lee,
Man,
I got $10. I got $10 to make you say.
Like Sting at the end.
Oh, I heard it. I got $10. Lee, I got $10 right now that says you won't make that happen. I think that's a first round pair.
Look, hey, by the way, Megan, remember Nitro Chaos, like if you want that can be a qualifying call out. Maybe you just said the first qualifying call out of Nitro Chaos, period.
Yes, I think
Phone Chris.
Do that.
Rewind the tape. Rewind the tape. Rewind the tape. What was it?
Yes.
1 hour and 5 minutes.
Is signed up for Edgewater, but they will be eventually.
Okay, yes. If Kevin, if you're watching,
hold on, wait. Go.
Okay.
Go.
Kevin, if you are watching, I'm gonna bet $500 that I will beat you at Edgewater. Let's do it.
520. I'll throw in 20. I got 20 on it.
I like the story. Okay. I like it. Man, I'm glad I asked that question. Megan, look, thank you for being on the show tonight. Look forward to following your journey, and I definitely look forward to seeing you at the track. Nitro Chaos, well, it's the best chaos out there.
That's right, guys. I cannot wait. Thank you so much for having me on tonight. I appreciate it so much. This was so much fun.
Thank you, Megan.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Classic car owners, make your headlights over twice as bright with Holley Retro Bright LED headlights. A plug-in replacement for those dim halogen seal beams, Retro Bright maintains that classic look and lasts 6 times longer. Stay safe and click the link below to learn more.
Well, dude, I think we might have actually had our first race that will actually ever happen from the Power Hour.
I know, right? All the other ones that we've kind of like made up, they don't happen.
They don't happen. This one will happen though. Oh, and look, that would be a great matchup. Kevin, we all wondered when A fuel car showed up because Nitro Chaos is almost like perfect for an A fuel car. So when they showed up, I mean, you've got War Wagon. They go to these little tracks with terrible surfaces and set the records there routinely. They had even set a record at the track they were just like 2-3 weeks before coming into MoCan. So, and even that weekend, Kevin Kinsley in War Wagon set the speed record for MoCan. So that matchup between Megan Meyer and Kevin Kinsley in the semifinals was huge for that event and for that race. And yes, if it wasn't for that red light by Kevin Kinsley, which to his credit was a small margin red light, that would have been a stellar drag race, and it might have even been a win light for the War Wagon.
I don't know if it's marketing what she's doing there, but she came out throwing blows there at the end, and I like it.
Dang.
Like, I mean, she might as well be walking around like Conor McGregor with, I mean, just pure.
She heard the 10-second, and was like,
yeah. Just Party time. I like it, man. That's what we need, is just to have someone like her that's refreshing to the sport. Come on, talk about racing, talk about the future plans. And that's what it's all about, is just being able to get out there and get it done. And she's got the track record to do it. She's proven herself year and year again in what she's done, and now stepping away from the sport and being very active with the business and being very active with her own business that continues to give back to the sport. And it just shows and pays dividends. So great show tonight. Great, talking with you, having you on. I know we've been missing each other. So, I mean, it's drag racing tonight.
I do want to answer Sam. Not you, Sam. This Sam's question. He says, "Hey, Lee, was that you who took the ride in the taxi?" Yes, I was the mobile cam guy, and we set that up. We actually talked about doing a full pull down the track, and they're like, "Nah, I can't do that. So McNeil Freeman, cool dude. If you have never got to talk to McNeil Freeman, this guy, like he says it all the time, he's living his best life, and he truly personifies that, and he's just living it up. Cool dude. I walk up to him, "Hey, man, how you doing?" He's like, "Yeah, hey, so we want to do this. Can I get in the back seat of your taxi cab drag car and ride to the water box and you do the burnout?" And he's like, "Yeah, we'll do it." Well, I got to thinking, Sam, I'm like, if I take a ride in a taxi cab to really seal the deal, I need to hand him some money. So I got me a 20 ready. I get in the back of that cab. He rolls through. We're streaming, burnout, come to a stop. And I hand that man a 20 and get out and shut the door. He goes on, and he turns on a 004 light. He did lose, but he wasn't distracted by no camera.
It's because you didn't tip him enough. And that right there is how you end the show. It's been a great show, Competition Plus. 123 episodes. You can go back, listen to them. You guys keep coming back. The Power Hour is here. You've got Monday Morning Racer, Lee Craft, Slam and Sam, a.k.a. Sam, and the whole crew behind the scenes. We can't thank you guys enough. To Weldon Pumps, to Holly, and Competition Plus Products. We thank you guys, the people that continue to watch this show week in and week out. And you guys keep spreading the word of drag racing, because somebody out there that's sitting in their mom's basement thinks that drag racing is dead, but yet they keep sharing people's posts. So I don't know. Till next time, y'all, I'm Slam and Sam. Peace.
See you guys.
If you want to take your vehicle's performance to new heights, you got to give it P. Like our original equipment technology, antifreeze, and coolant. Our formulas match the vehicle manufacturer's technology requirements so that we have the perfect match for every vehicle. That's one reason why Peak is among the fastest growing brands of coolant in America. We work harder to earn the trust of people like you every day.